folks, we all know the saying, make hay while the sun shines. But I'm going to say, make vadams or fryums when the sun shines. And that's what I'm going to share today. Two simple fryums, or as we say in Tamil, vadams with leftover rice. And I'm Vidhya and I blog at vidhyashomecooking.com, where you can find a lot of vegan and vegetarian recipes. And now let's get started with this vadam recipe or the fryums.
Now I'll share how to prepare the dough for the onion vadam or the killu vadam. I'm going to use 2 cups of leftover rice. I'm adding 1 cup of rice here. I did not soak the rice, and we usually don't add any salt while cooking the rice, so it's basically unsalted cooked rice. And coming to the rice variety, it's the raw rice or pacharisi as we say in Tamil. I'm adding 2 green chilies here. You can adjust it according to your spice preference. Just break it into 2 and let's grind the first batch now. I'm going to work in batches and grind the rice. Here it is. For this vadam, the dough should be thick, so add water cautiously. We'll be making small pieces of this prepared dough and sun drying it, so it has to be thick. For this entire 2 cups of rice, I used only quarter cup of water. If your rice is mushy or if you had soaked the rice, you won't need quarter cup of water even. So now I'm adding more rice here. So half more cup of rice. As it's a small jar, I'm working in batches. A medium sized jar will work correctly for this dough. So I'm adding 2 tablespoons of water and I'm going to grind it. Again, add water as required. And here it is, the last batch. I'm just transferring all the prepared dough to a glass bowl. And I used only quarter cup of water to grind the entire 2 cups of rice actually. So now I am going to add a half cup of finely chopped onions. I had chopped it using my chop wizard. Sorry about the mess around. So I'm going to add the entire onion here. And now let's add some salt. I'm going with 1 teaspoon of salt. If you add salt while cooking the rice, please adjust the salt measure. Again, you can adjust it according to your taste preference as well. And now mix the dough thoroughly. You can add the salt while grinding the rice also. I missed it, so I'm mixing it now. As you can see, the dough has to be this thick for the killu vadam or the onion vadam. Just mix thoroughly so that the salt gets incorporated well. And yeah, pretty much the batter for the killu vadam is ready. And let's set this aside. So now let's start making the batter for the green vadam or the herbal vadam. Honestly folks, I didn't know how to call this vadam, so I'm just calling it as green vadam or the herbal vadam. The batter is more like sago or javarsi vadam in that pouring consistency. Maybe you can call this as kinna vadam or baul vadam. You know what? Call it however you want. I'm just leaving the name up to you. For this batter also, I'm taking 2 cups of rice, and you can add more water while preparing this batter because we want a pouring consistency. Now let's add half teaspoon of cumin seeds and half teaspoon of carom seeds, omam as we say in Tamil, and 2 green chilies. Both cumin and carom seeds add a nice flavor to this vadam. And now let's add the salt, 1 teaspoon of salt. And here comes my greens. So I'm adding 10 mint leaves, 10 curry leaves, and a handful of cilantro, approximately 2 tablespoons. You can adjust this proportion according to your preference. You can add all the greens or add one or make it without greens also. But do try it with cilantro, mint and curry leaves. It's really amazing. Now let's grind it. I'm adding half cup of water first. So let's close and start grinding. Here it is. Make sure the rice is not sticking to the sides of the jar and bring them all inside. And now let's add another half cup of water. I'm using a quarter cup measure here, so I'm adding it twice, and my quarter cup measure equals to 60 ml. I will add all the measurement details on my blog post. Please check it out. Also, I'll add the blog post link in the description. So the batter is now smooth and I'm going to transfer it to a bowl. Add quarter cup of water to the mixture jar and rinse it and add it to the batter. So far I have added 1 1/4 cup of water. Now I'm adding quarter more cup of water and it should be in the thick pouring consistency. I have used 1 1/2 cups of water in total. You would need a less water if you had soaked the rice, and this is how the batter should be. You should be able to drop the batter with a spoon like this. Make sure it's not runny, and in that case you can add rice flour to thicken it. Both my batters are ready. Now let's see how to sun dry them. Here is my Vadam drying setup. I don't want rhino or pup to mess up the Vadam, so I always dry it on a table. I got this table from Costco and I have placed a transparent shelf liner here. You can find them in Walmart, IKEA and Costco. I bought mine from Walmart, and I have placed 2 wooden planks that we got from Home Depot just on the side so that the liner stays in place, and that's my setup. First let's start with the onion vadam. So just wet your palms and take a handful of the batter and just pinch a small portion of the batter and place them on the liner like this. Make sure there is some space in between each vadam. So now let's start with the green vadam. Just drop a spoonful of vadam batter on the liner like this. I'm using my 1 tablespoon measure. Make sure there is some space in between each vadam like the other one. As you can see, I've kept both the onion and the green vadam. I'm going to move the bench to a sunny area. Usually it takes about 3 days for it to dry thoroughly. I'll give update every single day. Can you see Rhino there? He's just waiting to sniff the vadam. Now you know why I'm drying it on a table. So I'm going to shift this to a sunny area, and here it is. I'll be changing the position so that it's in sunny area, and after 7 p.m. I'll take the sheet inside. Do not leave the vadam out in the night actually. So this is on day 2, folks. Let's see if the green vadams are ready or not. I'm just gonna try flipping one. It looks like it's still wet, so I'm just gonna leave them as is today and flip them tomorrow. And now let's check the onion vadam. Onion vadams are pretty much dried, so I'm going to flip them all now. So I have flipped all the onion vadams and I'm going to let it dry again. As I mentioned before, I'll be flipping the green vadam tomorrow. Now I'm going to move it to a sunny area. Yeah, and here it is. Okay. Sorry, I missed to shoot while flipping the green vadams. Sorry about that. And this is day 3, and as the vadams are completely dry, we transferred it to a plate. and I usually cover it with a white cloth after it dries completely. You know, it's super windy here, so we always cover it with a white cloth like this. So the vadams are completely dry and they are ready. You can now store them in an airtight container. But I'm just going to fry a few vadams and I'm going to show you. Let's start with the green vadam. The oil is hot and here we go. You don't need to flip the green vadam, and make sure you press the vadam well inside the oil so that it doesn't curl up actually. And now let's fry some onion vadam as well. And that's it. Here you go, friends.
I hope you all like this vadam recipe. Do give it a try and let me know your thoughts and feedback, and I'll see you soon with a new recipe next week. Thank you.